Hello everybody, my name is Sniping is Fun, and I welcome you all back to the next character in this Newcomer Ideas series of videos for the upcoming Smash Bros. Game, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. As I told you last time when I talked about Edelgard from Fire Emblem Three Houses, which was my 60th character number 61, we'd be jumping over to the Rhythm Heaven series and talking about the wrestler and the interviewer. And basically talking about why I feel they should be the deserving rep from Rhythm Heaven and why I feel they should be in Smash Brothers. And as always, 3 separate categories. Why does the character make sense? Moveset ideas and percentage chance I can see him actually getting in the game. So without further ado, let's get started. So why does the wrestler and interviewer deserve to be the Rhythm Heaven rep above everyone else from that series? First and foremost, let's just first talk about reasons for why I feel Rhythm Heaven itself in general should get a representation in Smash Bros. By this point. The series has been around since 2006 on the Game Boy Advance. It was originally in Japan on the, like I said, the Game Boy Advance, Japanese exclusive franchise. There was an arcade game, I think around 2006-07. And then the game everyone remembers, the DS version, was the first one localized outside Japan. Since then, we've also had Fever on the Wii and Mega Mix on the 3DS, which was as recent as 2015-16 Japan, if you're talking about 2015 for Japan, or 2016 localized. 5 games in 12 years, becoming an iconic Nintendo franchise that has a staple for popularity. This is a pretty freaking popular Nintendo franchise. And a lot of people like it, a lot of people play it, and a lot of people want a representation from that game in, that series in Smash Brothers. People, talk about Karate Joe, or the Chorus Kids, or the wrestler and interview, or other various people. So whoever gets a chance, whoever really deserves to be in, or is the chosen one to be in, is really up to Sakurai. But the franchise itself has been around long enough, is iconic enough, has enough games enough, popularity and fan demand enough, which, like I said, I don't really count popular and demand as much as relevancy and recency, but it does matter at least some extent. But even in this case, relevancy and recency, we've had a game from, Rhythm Heaven within the last, 2-3 years. And there is going to probably be a Switch version eventually. There's going to be a 6th game on the Nintendo Switch eventually. And this character, the franchise itself deserves to be represented, but why specifically these two? First and foremost, I think they are the most interesting choices. No offense to Karate Joe and no offense to the Chorus Kids, but I think they're kind of more like bland, basic choices. These characters really scream personality, even though Karate Joe and the Chorus Kids have been around since early on in the series, or not the beginning of it for Karate Joe's case. These characters have only been around since the Wii version back in 2011. So only 2 games so far in the series, although I'm sure with their popularity and relevancy to the series and how many people like them, they're going to continue when Rhythm Heaven gets their 6th game and whatnot. On top of that, they seem to be 2 prominent characters advertised for these games now. A lot of people seem to really like the idea of the wrestler interviewer. People meme that thing like crazy. You go on YouTube, type in Rhythm Heaven wrestler, and you get people memeing it like crazy. People talk about these characters like crazy. If they're not talking about Chorus Kids and they're not talking about Karate Joe, these are the next characters from that series they basically talk about. It's a fairly relevant character. They're prominent characters now in the series. It doesn't matter if they've been in the series since the beginning or not. And I know I've said a difference between Ashley and Mona from the WarioWare franchise, and that Ashley's more popular choice and Mona's the more, historical since the beginning of the WarioWare choice. Some series seem to, I feel, should base off certain things, and certain things are other things, whatever. I'm not trying to count out Karate Joe or the Chorus Kids or anything, but I feel these 2 have become very prominent characters in the franchise, and I think they're the most interesting choices we got. So that goes with, the franchise has been around since 2006. 5 games, it's pretty much going to be a Switch game eventually. Anyways, it's a popular franchise. They're prominent characters. They're popular. They've only been in 2 games, but they're obviously going to continue in the series, and so on and so forth. I really feel these 2 should be when Rhythm Heaven does eventually get represented in Smash Bros., and it should, whether it's Smash Bros. Ultimate, the 5th game, or, when they do Smash 6 on the Switch's successor, I have no clue if the series is still around by then. I really think these should be the choice. The series is deserving of it, and they seem to be the most interesting choices from it, especially from a moveset standpoint, which, speaking of which, let's get on to the second category, moveset ideas. Now, obviously, the Rhythm Heaven franchise is known for, doing stuff in rhythm and doing stuff to the beats and everything. So I wanted to make that a prominent feature in their moveset. And I'm making them a duo team like the Ice Climbers. It's going to be like Nana and Popo, except it's wrestler and interviewer. So basically, the smash attacks are going to be, it's mostly going to be the wrestler attacking for the most part. And it's going to be just like the Nana Popo thing. If the wrestler gets, knocked out like Popo, Nana's automatically eliminated. If the interviewer gets eliminated without, the wrestler, it kind of gives his moveset a little bit, but he can still continue on. I know it's kind of a stupid decision they made. People joke about it a lot. But he's the more attacking force of this thing. She's the more backup choice for this, the interviewer in this case. So the smash attacks will be obviously punches and kicks in wrestling format, like punches, kicks, and stuff like that, and drop kicks and wrestling striking moves, but in rhythm, like he's doing it to a beat and whatnot. And the interviewer lady gets a few attacks in there too. She'll come out and she'll smack people with her microphone and stick it in their face and start jabbing them with their microphone and everything. So the interviewer lady does have attacks. I'm not using her just as stand still to stand by. I'm always fighting. She does have attack moves. And then the special attacks will basically be all this, the rhythm-based stuff, all the poses he does, like, oh, all those like pose moves, and you walk around, and when you're posing, if there's any opponents around you, you're like, you're smacking them. And also, the interviewer also will be able to be used to do an interview to the opponent. You could either do it with her standing next to you, obviously in formation with your duo team, and if you successfully can get them interviewed, you'll stun the opponent. It'll be like, is that true? And then the opponent's like, and then it can go, so you get a couple of seconds of an attack. Or you could send her to run forward like 5-10 steps, and if there's an opponent in the way, she could smack them. But obviously the opponent could obviously hit her back, and she goes running back to the wrestler. But if you time the interviewer doing her special attack, interviewing the opponent, like I said, the smash attack for the interviewer is strictly just smacking her opponent with the microphone. Maybe she do little side kicks like, get away from me, that kind of thing. But her special attacks is her actually doing her and then if you time that right in rhythm, obviously, you can stun the opponent for a little bit, because it's a flash of the photographers while she's talking to your opponents, and they get stunned for a little bit. And you could do it with her by your side where she's safe, or you could risk sending her out as a small computer controlled thing, like, go, interview lady, get them. And she'll run a few feet, like 3 to 8 feet in front of you. And if she times it right, you can stun them from a distance, so you can run up and then beat them up, so you don't have to have them right next to you. And I want certain characters tend to have their own special little features. Like Robin has the ability for us to, see like how much the sword and the magic, have left. Lil Mac has his KO punch. Villager can collect items and stuff like that. Their special ability is, if you attack in rhythm, if you're doing your punches, your smash attack punches, or your poses specials in rhythm, you do more damage. If you're not doing it, it's basic damage. So it's like trying to be like, punch, kick, pose, and you do it like in order, punch, kick, pose, kind of thing. Like, it's in rhythm, it's in order. If you can do a combo in rhythm, it will give your opponents like maybe 3 to 8% more damage or something, depending on what you do. So I think that's be their special little feature there. Okay, and another special little feature I kind of want to throw on the character. Obviously, the wrestler is after the match, and during the actual event in Rhythm Heaven, he's all sweaty and stuff like that. He's doing the poses. If you pose correctly, if you do a lot of poses in rhythm, this is poses, not just smash attacks. Like I said, that's the rhythm. The smash attacks or the special attacks be done in rhythm and do more damage if you're attacking in combos in rhythm. If you're doing poses in rhythm, you'll make your guy a little more sweaty, and then maybe it could make the floor a little sweaty and trip your opponents or something. It's not a random trip feature like Brawl, but it's a trip feature that you can cause the stage to have a little bit of sweatness on it, so that people, like a little liquid water, so they can try to slide and you can attack them. That feature, you might be able to take that out. And that was a last minute thing I wanted to add to his moveset. All the other stuff stays, but that could be a thing that can go or stay whatever you want. As for the final smash, I have to represent this. I have to make this his final smash. It's the pose for the fans. And basically, obviously I should set this down so I can actually do it. You basically will be a grapple finisher, a catch finisher, like catch final smash, like how you have to catch like a little energy beam from Mega Man or Shulk to do the cutscene. He runs forward, he's like, and he grapples his opponent. Cutscene ensues. You're in the rhythm arena, the rhythm center, or whatever it is, and it's in the interview thing, and the opponents are like, "Where am I?" And then the crowd, the fighter's like, and the interview lady's talking to the rest of like, "Don't do this, Drew. Do pose for the fans." And he's like, and then the crowd's getting all crazy, and the people are like, "What? No, stop, no!" And they're all getting stomped on and like trampled on by the photographer people. And then they're like, "No!" And then the wrestler finishes off. He's like, and he grabs his opponents. He's like, and throws you out the door. He gets up flying off the stage. And the end of the final smash, just like the end of the game in Rhythm Heaven, is a newspaper clipping of the interviewer, like my person here, like, whatever. I have to do it like that, people. That's the fun part of his freaking mini game, his rhythm game thing. So I mentioned it again in the moveset. Smash attacks basically wrestling, punches, kicks, drop kicks in rhythm. The interviewer smacks people with their microphone and kicking opponents. Special attacks will be the poses in rhythm, as well as using the interviewer to interview opponents and stun them. You can send them forward. The attack in rhythm, it does more damage. Maybe the possibility of a sweat feature if you do multiple rhythm things in, multiple poses in rhythm. And then pose for the fans will be his smash, final smash, cutscene, pose for the fans, grapple opponents, throw them out the back door, they get sent flying out the arena and off the stage. So there's that. I'm doing that really hurt. Okay, third category. Why does the character make sense? Why? What percentage chance why the character makes sense to get in? Sorry, I messed up there. Percentage chance the character can get in. What chance do these two have to get in? I'm going to give them about a 70% chance. It's not high, it's not low. Like, you can probably go as low as maybe in the 60% range, but I'm going 70% because they're possible, but they're not very, very likely. The series is likely to get a rep, and we don't know who they're going to go for. They could go for the Chorus Kids. They could go for Karate Joe. They could go for them. They can go for someone else. I just think they make more sense because they stand out and they're more original. Karate Joe is cool and all, but he's just a karate guy with rhythm. And the Chorus Kids are just little white blob kids with rhythm. This is a wrestler. This is an interviewer. We don't have a wrestling character in the game yet. And whether it be one of these two or someone from pro wrestling like Starman or Fighter Hayabusa, I would love to see a professional wrestling character represented in Smash Brothers, because I think that's a fighting style we really should have by now, and they would provide a more interesting moveset. So I'm giving a 70% chance because I feel they are the more standout choice from Rhythm Heaven, and I feel Rhythm Heaven is a standout franchise to get a rep for one of the new franchises that are represented in Smash Brothers, but it's not guaranteed, and it has competition with ARMS and Golden Sun, Instant Punishment, and Advanced Wars, and Elite Agents Oandan, Custom Robo, other franchises that have yet to get a character in Smash Bros. So yeah, there you go. That's it. That's it for the wrestler and the interviewer. And put in the comments, do you guys like this moveset? Do you guys agree with it, disagree with it? Would you like to see the wrestler and interviewer or someone from Rhythm Heaven represented in Smash Bros. Ultimate or future Smash Bros. Right there? Does my moveset work ideas? Does it work? What moveset would you give them? Percentage chance 70% too high, too low? Discuss it down there and have fun. And they're on to character number 62, which will be a controversial one, because I'm going to be talking about the soldier from Metroid Prime Federation Force. Yeah. And as always, remember to pose for the fans.